And joining us now, Kevin Hassett, White House National Economic Council Director. Good morning.
Joe, good to see you all.
Good morning.
You love your job.
I do.
You tell me that all the time when I see you.
Yeah, it's the most fun there
President
Except
loves
this job, right? I mean,
yeah,
we love this job.
Yeah. President loves you in that position. He said that many times, even to the point where he said, I'd like him to be Fed chair, but I would miss him doing what he does now, going on TV and making the case for the Trump administration and the policy. So is it going to stay that way? I guess
we'll see. I don't think anything's final until it's final in the president's mind.
He told me last night that it was 3, they're all 3 good, but then it got down to 2, but actually it's down to 1. But I can't tell you who the 1 is, but...
He's gone from 1 to 5 to 3 to 2 to 1 quite a few times.
Do you feel like you know what's going on now or no?
Yes, of course.
You can tell us.
Kill us if you told us. When I was just sitting here thinking, I started thinking about how many times in the security framework the word tariff comes up. And I thought about it, that was going to be the recourse concerning Greenland. Now the recourse concerning Iran, to some extent. Anyone who does business with Iran is going to get tariffed. And I thought about what Scott Bessent said in the interview I did with him the other day, that tariffs and security and economics are all inextricably linked. And the president needs that tool, which makes me think about the Supreme Court, once again, not deciding, and just all the issues swirling around the use of tariffs and the way President Trump has used them. He needs to be able to use them.
Right. Well, I mean, they're very, very effective. And it's actually interesting to dive into the economics of why they're effective. That if you think that U.S. consumers are going to bear the tariffs, then they wouldn't care. The foreign governments. But if they think that, like, the Chinese have inelastic supply to the U.S., so they're going to just keep dumping their stuff no matter what, then they really, really care about the tariffs. And so the fact that countries move so much when the president threatens tariffs says something about, like, who's bearing the tariff, right? If they're really upset about it, making lots of moves because of the president's tariff threats, that means that their people who study it know that it's not the U.S. consumers that bear it. And if you look at the CPI,
it may just mean that the U.S. consumer's not going to buy
like
from them anymore.
Right.
And that's if you don't have a market to sell into because you've been priced out of that market.
Yeah, they might buy from the U.S. instead. And that's something that we've seen, actually, right, that the president brags about the trade deficit going down so much. So it is true that it advantages U.S. producers some. But again, inflation, there were a lot of predictions about inflation going up to the 3s and the 4s because of the tariffs. And the 3-month moving average at annual rate right now is like 1.5.
But it hasn't gone away. And we had Orzag on yesterday, and I mean, he was in the Obama administration, so
he's a good guy.
Take it for what it's worth. But he wants to bet me that it's going to be, that's coming. Tariffs are 4%.
Oh, you should take the bet.
I did. 4% for 2026. 4% for 2026. Because it's embedded somewhere, and it's been a while, and a lot of people have, I don't know, maybe it's been premature, maybe victory, mission accomplished about inflation has been declared too quickly, but we haven't seen it yet. Not very much, anyway.
Well, I mean, again, we've got data that have been very promising lately, but Peter Orzag, who's a great economist, is right that you need to see a lot more months of that before you really believe that you've killed the monster.
I was just going to on the tariff piece, though. You know, Christine Lagarde mentioned yesterday to me on a panel, and then also Ken Griffin also talked about how it was a regressive tax on the American consumer, and actually cited a new study. I don't know if you saw that study.
We've all seen it.
You've seen the study.
96 cents paid for, but yeah.
96 cents paid for by the American consumer.
Right. And that companies didn't eat it, foreign countries didn't eat it, that it. So the same people that don't like it are the same people that want to raise taxes on
all I'm saying is that real wages are up. They were down under Biden. The real wage is the W divided by the P. The P includes the tariff. And so wages are going up more than the cost of buying stuff. And that's exactly President Trump's point. So it's in the data.
But I'm just curious, you saw that study?
I've seen 3 or 4 NBER studies. Is this the one you're talking about?
I think one of them was, it just literally just came out about the 96 cents. And whether you think that's...
But these are the guys who have been modeling that we're going to have runaway inflation, that we're going to have stagflation, and so on. So the economic models don't account for things like what we're talking about, like the fact that for geopolitical reasons, countries decide that they want to capture a big chunk of the U.S. market, so they have leverage over us, like the rare earths. So where in that paper is the rare earth being modeled? The answer is
what I gleaned from it and talked to the Treasury Secretary about it was that the thrust was that the countries and the companies abroad that were exporting here have gone to other places. They didn't eat the tariffs by continuing to sell to the United States, they went elsewhere. But if you think about what that means that the domestic supply chain,
we're producing
that it is
own.
changing behavior. Right. Which is what the end.
But again,
trying
like
to do in the first place.
In the end, the final score, right, is what's in the data. And I think one of the reasons why there's some, like, I don't know if you saw the interaction between Lutnick yesterday and Al Gore, but the ideologues in this space are really, really upset that the tariff policies are working because the data are, in the end, it depends on the final score. The final score really is what happens to the real wage of ordinary Americans. And it went up a lot under President Trump before, and he introduced tariffs, and it's going up a lot now.
By the way, we were not at that event. Can you tell us exactly what happened? We've read different pieces of it, but since you were there, what did you see?
I was not there.
Oh,
I got a readout, but,
okay.
but I just heard that someone was inappropriately booing.
But Al Gore used to be the belle of the ball here now.
We saw the same.
Kevin, everybody here, all the former climate hysterics are the ones saying we need energy for the data centers. Bring it on. Bring on the coal. Bring on the fossil fuel. It's like the C word has not. And I'm talking about climate. The C word has not been mentioned here.
This has been a radically different Davos than anything you've ever seen. And I think it's really good for Davos that a lot of people are coming in with differing views.
Al's lost. He's walking around like muttering to himself. Like, I'm irrelevant. I mean, it's sad.
Yeah, but read the transcript aloud from what Howard said. I heard it was pretty entertaining.
It must have been entertaining. I was going to, what you didn't do was just check off what happened in the last year, good things in the United States. We've heard it a few times. We've heard it from the president, we've heard it from the Treasury Secretary. But
just give us your thought on Rick Rieder, though, because he's the guy. If it's not you, it sounds like he could be him. You kept saying the Kevins, and now it sounds like it may be the Kevin or Rick.
I've been friends with Rick for a long time. He's the best Bond guy.
Do we need a guy who?
But the president's going to make the
president
call.
did say guy, and he said, and it is a guy. So he said, I'm not this mean. But do we need someone that lets the economy run hot and doesn't worry about rekindling inflation?
We need an independent person who respects the mandates.
But like Greenspan.
And I don't think we've had, like Greenspan, but I don't think we've had that now. And I think the running hot point is really, really important because I was with Greenspan as a young guy, as a staffer at the time, but he saw the computers coming. And he said, oh, well, that's like a supply shock, so you could have high growth and it's not going to cause Phillips curve type things that mean we need to hike rates. And so he let the economy run hot without causing inflation because he recognized why the economy was hot. And what I believe now, whoever's the Fed chair, is that the economy is really hot. I think we might end up with 2 quarters in a row above 5 now, right? We really might. And if that happens, then that's a hot economy, but inflation is not taking off. And so it's obvious because productivity is in the 4s right now because of AI and the data centers. And and so it looks very, very much like the 90s to me right now. And so I think that the Greenspan judgment would be appropriate now. But then again, you got to watch the data. And if the data start, looking like Peter Orszag suggested to you they would, then you got to do something about it.
All right, Kevin Hassett.
It's good to see you guys. Stay warm. Stay warm. Yeah.
Ever take a nap yesterday? I don't think Trump did. I don't know. I needed one.
We got in late, as you heard.
All right, thank you.